My name's Libby Chisholm Fearnley, and how I got here is actually through the industry. I worked as a designer in mainstream fashion for over a decade. Um, I wasn't inspired by the work or the idea of constant consumption. I was at the time, the time I left the industry, I was designing for a youth retailer, and there was this specific instance where I remember being told that our customer is more of a follower than a leader. And that moment kind of made me realize that I didn't want to disempower anyone in the supply chain, whether it be the consumer or the garment worker. So that was kind of an eye opener for me. Um, and then when I had my first child, I ended that chapter and took some time to reevaluate what I wanted to do next. So I actually found FIT's program. They have a sustainable design entrepreneurs program for professionals in the fashion industry. And it was there that I kind of was always a questioning individual, and the courses there validated all my doubts about the state of the industry. Because I couldn't continue in an industry that I felt, was contributing to a huge global problem. My course is called Current Events and Innovations in Sustainable Fashion. And the reason I pulled it together was because I was having a lot of trouble keeping up with all of the new things going on. And I felt like there's no way that somebody can hold a full-time job and keep up with all these innovations. And there are so many solutions out there, but if you don't know about them, they're useless. So yeah, the idea was to bring together everything new and interesting from about the past 6 months and to have people that are currently in the industry get to just download everything all at once. Well, like I said, keeping up is a full-time job. So my goal is to do the work and to keep up with current events and the innovations, compile what's important, and deliver that information to students and companies and organizations that don't have full-time employees dedicated to keeping them up to speed. So, like I said, solutions are totally useless if no one knows about them. I think there's one statistic that really eats at me, and it's this Oxfam statistic that a CEO at a mainstream fast fashion retailer makes a garment worker's lifetime salary in just 4 days. So
Wow.
fast fashion really causes extreme income disparity. Sure. So I would say that if you haven't started preparing, it's almost too late. Um, the industry, even when done with a smaller footprint, even sustainable fashion is not really sustainable, right? We need to really redesign the way we think and explore concepts that go far beyond our comfort zones and challenge each other to collectively adapt the systems that we live within. So like right now, it doesn't matter how zero waste or sustainable a shirt is if the C-suite isn't diverse or if the product isn't available or accessible to people of all sizes and abilities. So I think equity plays a huge role in what is and isn't sustainable.
Right.
And if we can rejig our workplaces and empower those who have mastered resourcefulness, we can solve a whole lot of problems in our industry organically. Pardon the pun. So it's interesting because my gut reaction when I was working in the industry was to just leave it behind me. Um, and because I was afforded an opportunity to kind of think about what came next, I realized that I could run away from the problem or I could face it with the knowledge I already had. So I think a great way to start is instead of leaving your current role, consider how you can make changes where you are right now. So are you a designer? Then you can partner with like a rag trader. In New York City, we have this company called Fab Scrap. You could partner with a rag trader to divert pre-consumer waste. If you're a tech designer or a pattern maker, you can advocate for 3D software. If you're a merchandiser, you can adapt a shift toward virtual showrooms. Fabric sourcing, you could, explore alternatives to virgin polyester and acrylic. There's so many different ways, and I think that if you take what you already know and shift your path there and make baby steps in your role, it will, if we all make steps like that, it will make a big difference. Another thing that I think we don't talk about enough is empowering our overseas partners. So asking for their sustainability expertise, because obviously, a lot of our suppliers are working with lots of different brands, so they already know a lot already. And then also like working on that relationship and that power dynamic with our partners abroad. I think we really need to work on that and make it more balanced, because the power dynamic right now between Western brands and our far-flung suppliers is really obsolete and discriminatory. Yeah, I'd love for you guys to reach out. You can contact me through my website at materialepiphany.com, and any current FIT courses will be listed there, as well as any opportunities for you or your organization to connect. So I do some consulting, copywriting, designing, teaching. I've got a lot of interests.